Esselamu Aleyküm ve Rahmetullah. Euzu billahi mineşşeytanirracim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbena efrig aleyna sabran ve sebbit akdamena vensurna alel kavmil kafirin. Rabbena efrig aleyna sabran ve tevaffena müslimin. Allahümme ehdina fîmen hedeyt ve afina fîmen afeyt ve tevellena fîmen tevelleyt ve barik lena fîmâ a'tayt ve qina şerre mâ qadayt fe inneke teqdî ve lâ yuqdâ aleyk innehu lâ yezullu men vâleyt ve lâ ya'uzzu men âdeyt tebârekte Rabbena ve teâleyt felekel hamdu alâ mâ qadayt. نستغفرك اللهم ونتوب إليك لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين. Welcome everybody. Inshallah, everybody is comfortable about this time clash with the starting of the discussion. Maybe next week we have to look for a solution. Maybe during the class for 1 or 2 weeks, we may give a break. Let's think about it for next week. Bismillah. Now we've been studying the story of Moses, and we learned that the stories may be understood from different perspectives. First, from its own, the first revealed historical context perspective, the experience of the prophet who received it within his own time and space limitations or conditions. So, and also life and civilization needs to be taken into consideration. This is somehow necessary because to understand how the first audiences of the revelation experienced this together alongside with the presence of the prophet, so that we will think about it and take into consideration in order to be able to apply it to our life conditions, living conditions, at the societal level. This is just one example. The prophet's life is one example, but we can, with the help of the universal message of the Quran, enlarge it and universalize it and make it available for our life conditions. And the second aspect, we can look at the verbal context of the, contextual of the verse, and taking the context into consideration and trying to understand the literal meaning and value of the presentation in the Quran, within the Quran. And we should never forget, I'm telling this to myself, we cannot isolate any verse of the Quran from the whole teachings of the Quran, purposes of the teachings of the Quran. Likewise, we cannot also isolate any part of the universe from the context of the whole universe and isolate it and study it. It is impossible. For practical reasons, people go and study it within laboratory conditions and limitations. That's why human beings are restricted to interpret the activities of the parts of the world, whatever they are studying, specific subject, by isolating from the rest of the whole order of the universe. That is why human beings may interpret it within the laboratory conditions in a way that say that, look, I did this result came out, so it is how it is happening. I'm being impartial. Whatever I see in the lab, I saw it. It sounds so, I'm just sharing it with you. It sounds so innocent, but it is not innocent, because we have to acknowledge that we cannot really isolate anything from the rest of the order of the universe. But at the same time, for practical reasons, we can talk about the existence of an, let's say, a pomegranate. Why, I don't know. I remember this example, but and say that what this fruit is all about, and how can I explain? It is beauty, it is design, it is arrangement within and without, and wrapping up, and how the seed is in each part of the pomegranate. I don't know how they are called. If you say seed, maybe, and piece, let's say, and the membrane between each of the sections. Who is arranging it? What can be the source of it? Which kind of qualities I can see there? I can study this, but ultimately, I should never ignore the reality that I am studying the pomegranate, a pomegranate, in an isolated atmosphere or conditions. That is very important. We cannot do the same thing as we cannot do in the universe to any verse of the Quran. We have to think of it within the especially purpose of the Quran. Who is speaking? Whom is the speaker is addressing? What the purpose of the speech, and what authority he is, or on what authority the speaker is speaking. As the, for example, who is speaking? An unknown author within the universe. There is no, the Quran is not claimed to be by any author, including the one who presented us the prophets. They say, no, it's not from me. Okay, that is what they claim. Okay, we respect that, and we have to take into consideration, although we don't have to confirm it yet, until we study and come to the conclusion that this claim is really true or must be really true. Now, this is who is speaking. Whom is he speaking? Human beings. But the genes, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, because it's not our subject here. And for what purpose? Well, he says, I'm going to give you the news that you need and you cannot find it within the universe. As a human being, you have many expectations, you have many aspects of the creation within yourself and in the universe that you cannot really reach or obtain the answer to these human questions. I am your creator, and I am speaking to you in order to provide the answer for you. That's a big claim, isn't it? Okay. And on what authority is he speaking? As the owner of the universe, as the owner and originator of the universe and human beings as well, and human feelings, claiming that I am the one who provided you, your body, the universe, and your spirit. You have all this as a grace from my mercy, from me. And I'm going to provide all what you need in the universe. I am the one who's doing that. And I'm going to provide all the answers you need to learn in this place. You are a trainee. I am the principal of the school of the universe. We will say, is it really true? Exactly in the same way, we have to understand and have an approach to the verses that we are studying under discussion, putting all these aspects together. So also we have to know that a text is revealed within a historical context and also special space, claiming to be the creator of the universe's speech, the speech of the creator of the universe, must be, by its own nature, universal message. It must be in the form of a universal message. Universal message cannot be literally explainable or literally expressible. You cannot express the universal message. So we have to use some sort of rhetorical means, rhetorical models, which needs to be used, and of course, rhetorical models definitely are in need of interpretation. They are to be interpreted. That's why we have our approach to Quranic teaching. We said some parts of the Quran is not really available, if you like, by their own nature to be interpreted straightforward. So we have to say, for example, you have to give your inheritance share, that percentage, to your mother, to your father. But what am I going to interpret this? It is talking about the property to be divided among the members of the deceased person. But these are only 5 or 3 or at the most 5% of the Quran, that they constitute only this much. Okay, we understand that these are the principles that I have to adjust my life accordingly. But of course, while I am practicing all these rulings, if you like, principles, I have to have my 90% of the Quran's understanding in my mind, in my spirit. So while I am doing it, I have to bear in mind that I am obeying and following the directions that I received from my Lord within the physical conditions of the world. These are actually this 3% of the Quran are, I think all of them, no exception comes to my mind for the moment, are physical activities. Physical activities must be given within the physical forms. But belief matters, ethical matters, moral matters, understanding of the universe, of course, which is included in the belief matters, cannot be physically describable. But the Quran has to use physical examples in order to convince me the physical examples which are manifested in the creation of the universe in order to convince me that this news concerning the belief matters must be true, so that I will use the evidence from the universe, confirm it, and adjust my understanding, my feelings accordingly. These are the fundamental, oh, what happened? These are the fundamental principles of reading the Quran. I am sorry, what happened? I don't know. Let me do it again. What's that? Okay. Stop share and do it again. I don't know what happened. Okay. Not difficult. Just takes time. What's that previous one? Okay. I'm sorry for this interruption. Now, we have studied up to this point now, and this verse says, وَنَخْتَارْتُكَ فَاسْتَمِعْ لِمَا يُوحَى. Literal meaning is this. Now, I have chosen you, so listen to what is being really revealed. Okay. Now, I'm not Moses. Let's say, let's start from this point. How about it is historical context? This is the story of Moses, not known to first audience and immediate audience in Mecca. Very rare, maybe one or two people might have heard that there are some people not only heard, of course they know that there's a city which is called now Medina, Yathrib that time, and there are some people who are following completely different way of life. They might have heard, and then some businessmen or the traders also may know that on the coastal side and in the Habeshistan, Ethiopian side now, there are some people following different cultures. Jews following different tradition in eastern southern of coast of Saudi Arabia are following different tradition, which is okay, the word didn't come to my mind. And the western side of Saudi Arabian coast is on the other side of the Red Sea. They are called Christians, but within in Mecca, the Meccan tradition, the people of Mecca's tradition, has no such things, but they have some sort of the concept of God in their mind, and the Kaaba is also named at that time as the house of God, Baytullah. That means they have some sort of understanding of God, but they heard some other tribes somewhere else, far away, following different cultures. And these people are told about a story later on, of course, this chapter 20, Taha, let me see. Taha is revealed. During the Meccan period, on the 6th year of the mission. So it belongs to the Meccan period. But there is a tradition in Mecca. People come from around countries, all the around the Meccan tribe, from mostly from Hijaz area. It's a large area inland of the Arabian Peninsula, and especially people from Medina are very much aware of a tradition, a religious tradition practiced by Jewish people. And definitely they might have heard, definitely they heard about Moses and the book that got revealed, the prophets that got employed. They are aware of it, and also they are well known as the educated people and civilized people. They had their own houses decorated, special castles, etc. They had their own way of architecture and different kinds of arts. And the Arabian pagan Arabs were admiring them, but they never really interested in their culture. But they were admiring them. That is the reality. So when the prophet talked about Moses, they knew that he is talking, some of them knew that he is talking about those people's claim that they have some prophets, and one of these prophets is called Moses. So those people who come from Medina, not from Jewish tradition, but pagan Arabs, when they heard this, really they were struck. So it was very easy for them to embrace Islam or the prophetic mission, because, oh yeah, those people have this kind of things and they are very conservative about them. You all know that, I'm sure you all know that. In Judaism, there is no evangelism. It means missionary activity. They don't accept other people to embrace Judaism. They may choose so. They don't reject it, but they don't regard them as real Jews. So their understanding of religion and Judaism is like this. We are not talking about whether it is legitimate or not. So they were not propagating Judaism to the pagan Arabs, but only they were practicing their own religious tradition within their own life or tribal life. So when the Arabs from the pagan Arabs came and visited for the pilgrimage purposes during the pilgrimage season in Mecca, which was just in the form of a common commercial, cultural interactions, actually. So that was a great opportunity for them, and those months were prohibited to fight between the tribes. That was their tradition. So the travel and journey to Mecca will be safe, and everybody will perform according to their pagan tradition and pagan religion, and but mostly for a kind of fair, really, trade fair, cultural fair, and also competitions. Poetic competitions. Everybody was trying to impose their values on other tribes and claim that they are the superior ones. That was the culture. So when they heard this, those people who came from Medina, pagan Arabs, were very happy with it. Not like the Meccan ones, Meccan people, which are Quraysh tribes. So the people of the Quraysh tribe were resisting about protecting their status among the Arab tribes, neighboring Arab tribes. But Medinian, Yathrib people did not have this kind of concerns, but since they were feeling the need in order to compete with these Jewish tribes and their civilization, they were admiring it. Even they were sending their children to be educated among them, to learn how to read and write. There in Medina, in Yathrib, Meccan people didn't have such opportunity. So they, when they came there, they were very happy that one of them, according to their criterion, an Arab, is claiming to know their story, Jewish stories. Although there was no way to learn for a Meccan people, especially for the prophet who has never been maybe in Medina at all. Oh, that was quite striking for them. How do you know this tradition that we hear from Jewish people? And also, the claim of the prophethood was not a strange thing for them. Excuse me, somebody is, okay, it is over, good. The mic was making noise, maybe my mic was making noise, I'm sorry. So, that is important to know that the Quran, in its early period, was mentioning about the tradition of or stories of other cultures, because the prophet or the person who brings this news to the people was illiterate. It has not been any trade relationship or for any reason in Ethiopia, Habesistan that time, or other Yemen or other coastal areas, Zoroastrian areas. No, and Medina and the Jewish people, he has never been there. He is not an educated person. There was no education facilities in Mecca anyways. So talking about them and speaking with precision, sure, this is the story happened, which is mentioned in Torah as well. They were so shocked, and almost, most of them who came from Yathrib were amazed at this news. Of course, we should bear in mind that this, if you like, historical context prepared the minds of the Yathrib people to embrace the message of the Prophet Muhammad and accept it and have it with, among themselves as a valuable person. We have to know this historical context. Why in Medina the Prophet did not encounter with any rejection, opposition from Medinian pagans, as contrary to what he has experienced in Mecca. We have to understand that. And also this kind of early revelations about Jewish tradition was, if you like, preparing the base for the further period of the prophetic mission and completing the message with its individual and social context, completing it so that it will be a ready package for the guidance of the people, in including all aspects of life experiences, so that a shepherd man became the establisher of that time completely from scratch, establisher of a kind of empire that time. What? A peasant? A shepherd? Didn't know how to read and write? Established a system which is spread all over the world. That time, that word was only the available area, geography in America and other parts of the world was not known to them, was not known to anyone anyways. In the eastern area, it means Asia and Eurasia, Europe and Asia. So, and they needed the east coast of Africa. They didn't know the other parts, and they didn't know the north part of Africa at that time. So this person was welcomed by that time is a big number, millions of people. Not immediately, but soon after he died, he passed away, then the people became aware of it and they embraced his message, confirmed it, and started practicing the principles he introduced in the Quran. So they were admiring him at the same time. All the Medinian Arabs, the pagan Arabs, did not have any opposition to the prophetic mission. Neither his administration, they were very happy apparently because he established justice in the society, equality in the society, freedom in the society. He established that. And also he was being so just and modest himself, so they admired him, and also very courageous, and they joined his message and started helping him to spread the message, the tribes around Yathrib, even went out of Hijaz area into inland of Asia, so some part of Europe as well, and north of inland of Africa and north of Africa as well. Soon after the prophetic message, Islam was a universal religion that time. So this message says, okay, this is the historical context. This message says, أنا وأنا اخترتك فاستمع لما يوحى. Okay, for me now, he heard the news. The prophetic example, Moses, heard the voice, and it was addressing him. Now, how about for us? How do we understand this verse? Because apparently I am not chosen as to be the addressee of the speech of the Creator, that I heard his noise, the Creator's noise, that time, now. And Moses heard it. How can I apply it to my life? Of course, I have to think that, do I hear the voice of my Creator within my own self and within my own environment? How about human conscience? How about the revelation narrated to me until now? So we are going to see that this, we studied this twice blessed valley. That is my twice blessed of my life. which is within my own spirit, within my own soul, I experience what is revealed in me. I am not only meat and bone and blood. I am not only body. Something always within me, put within this body by a source which cannot be found within the universe. One aspect of revelation is within me from my Creator. I can hear His voice through my feelings. But at the same time, I can hear His speech through the narrations of the speech of the Creator. They are both available for me. Now, I am blessed with two sources of revelation, and I have to listen to them. What is revealed to me? And this verse says, you, Ali, too have to pay attention to, listen to what is taught to you. Okay. Inni and Allah. Oh, yeah. What is this? The first thing is taught that I am the one who is called God. What is that? Of course, I mean, it's a proper name. I need explanation, as Moses needed it. And the explanation is so precise, so concise, so practical, universally applicable, and provable, always, universally, time and space-wise, is beautiful. La ilaha illa ana. Okay, it's a very challenging language. What does it mean? There is no ilah with the divine power who can claim to be the source of existence of anything, originator of anything, especially human senses. Impossible. You cannot find any source for your feelings, for your intelligence, for your consciousness, for your conscience, which is called all spirit, soul. But it is me who provided them for you. I am the one who did it. You cannot find any other source to explain their existence. And also not only human soul, human body. I cannot find any source within the universe that built, that can build, have the ability to build my body, structure it, balance it, all with all its qualities. I cannot find any source within the universe which will give me the proportionate form to my body, my brain, my ability to hear, to see, and my heart and my lungs, so proportionately, perfectly measured and perfectly functioning organisms, material organisms arranged within my body. I cannot see any consciousness within the universe who or what or that can be the source of these arrangements, even more for my body. And this voice says, I am the one who is doing it. My name is God. As if, nice to meet you, Moses. So introducing himself. But we should never forget that this introduction of God is so precise, beautiful. It is impossible to be challenged. Why? La ilaha illa ana in the verbal speech, in this context, la ilaha illa ana. But in other parts, in general context of the speech, it is formulated as la ilaha illa hu. It means there is no divine power, authority, who can be the originator of the universe. But he is. He is the authority. Who is he? The one who is the source of existence of the whole universe. Whoever is able to give existence to the whole universe is the one giving existence to you and to every part of the universe within the context of the whole universe. That is why Quran can be understood only in a holistic approach. Human beings can be understood only within the holistic approach. Universe and any part of the universe can be understood within the holistic approach, not partial, not isolated approach, which is always misleading. I cannot isolate my existence of my eye from the objects it sees. I cannot. If there was no object to see, there would be no eye that I can mention about. If there was no object to hear, there would be no seeing, hearing. I can mention, I can talk about. That is why we have to see ourselves, analyze human beings within the context of the whole human beings. At the same time, come to one individual person. Again, I cannot isolate my sense of smell from my sense of loving or not loving, disliking. I cannot isolate the working of my brain from the enjoyment or confirming or rejecting ability, reasoning ability of my human side, feelings, consciousness. I cannot isolate them. They work, they function at the same time. That's why I have to say, whoever has designed my eye is the designer of my finger, my fingernail, even my cell. In a part of cell, even a part of cell must be the product of the one who designed me and the things that I'm communicating with, including my power of imagination, which even goes to beyond the limitations of this universe. This must be the one who he is. It means the one who is introducing himself as or with the name God in English, Allah in Arabic. So God, my name is God in English. So it is a concept which call it God. Then the proper names are not translated. I know that. But for the sake of the same notion is expressed within the universe as God within English, I would say, so the universe. I'm sorry, in English as God. So when English speaking people say God, they mean in Arabic Allah. So it is not a translation, it is a matter of language. So they have the same concept, but how do you describe it? The God is described in the same way by the people as the word Allah is described in the same way by the people, different. I mean, if someone says, does Allah, doesn't mean that he described Allah in the perfect way as it is presented to us in the Quran. But if someone says God, doesn't mean that it is really properly described by everyone as they say God, as it is presented in the context that they are using. Of course, the word God may be abused as word Allah may be abused by the readers of the Quran because it is subject to human interpretation. It is inevitable. So we shouldn't be mad about proper names are not to be translated. We are translating the concept and using the language aiming at the same concept. So, God, I am God. There is no deity except me. So what? So, fa'budni. Hey, in our individual, in the example now, in a person now, worship me. Oh, okay. And of course, we have to be aware how are we going to apply it in my own practical life. Fa'budni. All right. This voice I am hearing now, and also the voice I am hearing from my spirit says, I have to be acknowledging the reality of my existence and presenting my acknowledgement to the source of my existence. That is worship. I have to say, I belong to the one who is the source of existence of this universe, nothing in this world, because the whole universe is the product of that source. Okay, who's called God. That's it. Fa'budni, worship me. It means do not accept, do not acknowledge wrongly anything to be the source of your existence or the existence of anything. So I have to acknowledge and use my consciousness, arrange my life accordingly. I belong to the owner of the universe. So never accept slavery. Why? I belong to the owner of the universe. I cannot belong to anything else. I am not the product of nature. I am not subject to somebody's, how do you say, hegemony on me, somebody's, what is the word, authority over me. Of course, as far as my existence is concerning, I am talking now. But if I cannot submit my existence to anyone else. I am an individual created creature, created being, given existence as an individual person by the one who created the universe. That is my acknowledgement. وَأَقِمُ الصَّلَاةَ لِذِكْرِي. What does it mean? That establish prayer for my remembrance. Oh, as we know, the prayer introduced in the Quran as a technical word, if you like, as the 5 daily prescribed prayers, were not introduced to the people that time. But within the context of Moses' experience, I don't know, that maybe it was established then, I don't know. But this story is presented to me in order to be understood within my own context. So I have to establish prayer. Of course, we have to understand the prayer here in its general term or sense, which means now establish, make a firm standing for your means of communicating with the Creator, with your Creator, so that you will present all your needs to Him while you are benefiting from the creation, from everything around you. You have to present your gratefulness, your gratitude to Him alone. The salat, your prayer, whatever you need. You have, for example, you need eternal happiness. That is what the ultimate purpose of everybody's life. How can I reach or attain eternal happiness? People define themselves as atheists, doesn't believe in God, also want to entertain their life. This is quite human nature, the way we are created. So we are expected here, or we are taught here, that you have to seek your eternal happiness from me. لذكري, in order to remember me. Now, your means of expressing your needs must be for the purpose of remembering who I am. The Creator is speaking, God is speaking to Moses. Remembering, that's a very interesting concept. أقم الصلاة لذكري. It means even now, after the establishment of the 5 daily prayers, or however you see it, for some people 6 daily prayers, including tahajjud, that is your individual choice, as it is presented in the Quran. If you take it as a responsibility, you can do it. But if you think that the Quran is addressing to you also, you can take these verses and make your 5 daily prayers 6. But if you say, okay, this is for the Prophet only, that is another aspect. Okay, it is respected. It is not a problem now. While we are performing our 5 daily prayers, we have to remember that this is a prayer presentation in order to remember my Creator, present my conclusions to Him. وَأَقِمِ الصَّلَاةَ لِذِكْرِي. Establish prayer for my remembrance. It means to bear in mind, always think, remember that whatever you receive from my creation, you have to say, this is from the Creator of the universe, presented to me in the form of a gift. Remember Him. And whatever you feel within yourself as in the form of needs, you have to present those needs to the Creator of the universe. He can fulfill it. Nothing can fulfill it. Nothing can answer to my prayers, to my expectations. Nothing can fulfill my desire in the universe. They are all done. They are all matter, ultimately. So what shall I expect from them? But only the Creator of this universe, and therefore of me, Creator of me, can fulfill the need. I have to present my petition to Him. Therefore, I have to remember whatever I need to be fulfilled, only the one who can do it, nothing else. Of course, while I am, for example, presenting my need to my friend, saying that please help me to take this one or give me some food, these are not an obstacle. This shouldn't hinder my remembrance of him, that ultimately everything is created by him. This man is going to give me or satisfy my need only from those who have been provided by the creator of the universe. Your mother is feeding you, preparing the food, and the food is created by the universe. The ability that the mother is given in order to make the food, the memory and talent, whatever, are also all created by the owner of the universe. While you are thanking your mother for the food he or she prepared for you, your father, he bought it for you, brought it to the house, general practice of nowadays life, you have to remember God. You should interact with them physically, but remember the creator of this physical event for you. That is essential. وَأَقِمِ الصَّلَاةَ لِلذِّكْرِ is my backbone of my life in this world. Whatever I am doing, whatever I am intending, whatever I am wishing, whatever I am afraid of, all must be turned into the means of remembering their creator. That is worship. It is فَعَبُدْنِي وَأَقِمُ الصَّلَاةَ لِلذِّكْرِ is not an additional. If you like, we can translate it in this way. Indeed, I am God. There is no deity except me. So worship me through establishing prayer for my remembrance. You can take it in technical word, Arabic literature, technical word. While you are establishing prayer for my remembrance, what? And for those people who are familiar with it, it's a very simple thing in Arabic grammar, wahaliya they call it. Not additional, ataf. It is not ataf, it is hal. It means, the meaning is, while you are establishing your prayer in order to remember me, this will be your way of worship. Now, that is very practical guidance for me now, nothing to do with Moses anymore. It means, well, historically, yes, but I can read it for myself. Yeah, God has chosen me by giving me these two means of receiving the message from him through my body, through my spirit, one means, and also hearing the message of his verbal speech through the prophets and narrations. After the prophet, he has reached me now. So I have to listen to it. Let me say, what is it telling? Now at this stage, we have to remember that these two verses are not commanding Moses in the example to believe and confirm it. No, just فَاسْتَمِعْ لِمَا يُوحَى. Hearken to it. Pay attention to it. Take it under consideration. Think about it. فَاسْتَمِعْ لِمَا يُوحَى. Not confirm it immediately without knowing what it means, whether it is true or not, whether it is confirmable or not. No. First, pay attention. Oh yeah, I have to reflect on my creation. I have to reflect on the meaning of the verbal speech of my creator and try to understand whether it makes sense for me or not, it is confirmable or not. I am sorry. We started more than 10 minutes later. I just extended my time from 6 to 10, from 6 to 10, 10 minutes after 6, 6:10. So the following verses, now it is a beautiful, really, you cannot really be delighted about the message in the following conversation, you know. وَمَا تِلْكَ بِيَمِينِكَ يَا مُوسَى. Look at this beautiful, friendly discussion, not to make the addressee under pressure. I am God, so I'm going to frighten you, or everything is under my control. I can make disappear suddenly in some films and some movies that frightening screen. No, 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 no. Hey, it's so simple. So, what is that in your right hand, O Moses? I like a friend, you know. Said, how are you doing? Oh, what's that in your hand? No, inshallah, next week. I'm very excited. It is absolutely amazing how God is teaching us how to communicate with the people, even we are in the authority, father, mother, whatever, teacher, whatever, the governor or administrator. It's a beautiful language. What is that in your right hand, O Moses? Because the first word was, the first two sentences were shocking, you know. Inni and Allah, la ilaha illa ana, fa'budni, وأقم الصلاة بذكري. Oh, the big authority is commanding me something with an authority, introducing himself to me. Now Moses must be really frightened. But now the atmosphere turned into a very calm, very intimate, friendly, almost equal level way of discussion. وما تلك بيمينك يا موسى. Look at this language. Huh? What's that in your right hand, O Moses? Don't you see the sweetness, friendliness of the language here? God is teaching us something very interesting. So inshallah, we will start from this as an introduction. Now I mentioned next week. These are beautiful. I really love this approach to read the Quran in this way. Alhamdulillah, I'm very pleased with it. Okay. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعواهم أن الحمد لله رب العالمين بحرمة سر سورة الفاتحة.